What's up, everyone? First episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show. This is going to be our weekly Yu-Gi-Oh! Podcast where we talk about all things Yu-Gi-Oh! And some other things too. Now, I've got two very awesome guests here with me. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Sammy, do you want to go first?
After you.
Oh, okay. My name is Hodge. I'm playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For how long now? You know what? I don't even know. I've lost count. I can't lie to you. I'm going to say 2014.
Mad.
Yeah.
5 years now. 6 years? Bloody hell.
No, actually, no. I mean, to be fair, it's been longer than that, but I got back into it with the competitive side, I guess, in 2014. When Necros was a thing. There you go. That's what I remember.
Okay, and who else have we got?
Yeah, I had to see what kind of intro I was up against. Yeah, I'm Sammy. I've been playing since the same time, really, when Necros was dominant. Duelist Lights format, yeah. Okay. It was good.
Sick. And you got Fabz here, obviously, of course, as well. I've been playing around about the same time, I'd say, 2014, 2015. Yeah. I don't even know what the format was because I wasn't playing competitively then. But yeah, so what we're going to start with first, what we're going to actually talk about first is going to be the current format. So guys, what do we think about the format right now? What's your opinion, guys, on the format? Because I can't lie, me personally, it's good, but I'm starting to get a bit bored of it.
Oh, sorry, did you say VFD pass?
Yeah, it's
No, in all seriousness, I mean, I get what you mean.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a variety now, but it is getting a bit boring, to be honest. It just becomes like a bit anti-fun when you just see you see VFD get dropped and you just think, well, what do you do at this point?
Literally. So, doesn't it remind you, Sammy? Yeah. Remember when we were going to regionals? Doesn't it remind you of like that it was like the Orcus Sky Striker format? That's what I'm thinking. That reminds me.
Oh, are you talking about Lunalight Orcus when they had Azoth?
Literally, you just can't play.
Yeah, that was not a fun experience. Oh man.
But, yeah, you're right. I feel like there was more interaction in the format, but now it's like I don't know. The power creep is big now, isn't it? Like Dragun, Virtual World, they're in like a different league to last year's decks.
Definitely. And what you said about power creep, I think that's really the case where it's like I feel like just for you guys at home, and when I say TOS format, it's Standard Orcus Sky Striker format. In TOS format, the gap between Rogue and Meta, I don't think was as big as now. Apart from Sky Striker with Engage. By and large, I feel like the gap wasn't big. Whereas now, I feel like you're playing Rogue and you can't compete.
When you think about it this way, at the point where even if Heart Portal was to come to one, people are still saying even with Gear Suit, their Orcus is still garbage. Imagine that, and that Orcus is the top tier deck.
Yeah,
think about it.
That's actually insane.
And even with Banlist back, the power creep is insane. If they're saying the Orcus is just going to be that bad, then you start to think, wow, where's this format come to?
I didn't even think of that, you know. Can you imagine?
Yeah, do you see what I mean though? It's just a bit weird.
How well do you guys think like full power Orcus, full power Sky Striker would do in this format?
I think
when you say the thing is the problem moves with that. When you say full power Orcus and Sky Striker, are we talking Engage, Mermaid, everything?
Okay, I'm not talking about Mermaid. I'm talking about free Harp Orcus, so no Mermaid, but free Harp and Sky Striker. Free Engage, free Kagari.
Okay. I would say with Orcus, it'd probably be like a really, really good rogue deck. But obviously with like PKs having Bardiche back as well, they can have that little engine in there. With Sky Strikers, the issue is the splashability into other decks. I think Engage is just so much of a problem. What would you do? You'd have to bring back Engage but ban Hornet Drones.
That's true.
Like they can't coexist. They just can't.
The thing is, I would say with Orcus, with Harp at 3, I think it would be tier 1, like between, say 5 decks, because putting Harp on the board with an extender is really safe. You know what I mean? It would just I think it would be very good.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think it could match up to like Dryton and Virtual World?
I don't think it particularly, because like, there's too many specific cards like Meister and the searchable hand traps that would punish it.
Yeah.
But
what I found with Orcus is as well though, like there's just a lot of variants. Like we saw Lunalight Orcus, we saw Pure Orcus, we've seen Cyber Dragon Orcus, we've seen PK Fire with Orcus, we've seen the Scrap Engine. So like what actual version would you think would be tier 1 though?
I'd say a pure version, right? Because there's so many variants, but pure is always the best.
Because of Gearsu now, I can see that.
Yeah, because Gearsu and Harp would loop each other, and that's really annoying to play.
It's actually insane, though. I think, when Gearsu got announced, everybody was like, Orcus Tier 1 all over again. That's it, straight away.
I didn't, because I was
saying, it's a good card.
Say that again, Sammy?
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, no, say that again.
Oh, when he got announced, I looked at it and thought, nah, he's just like a good Armageddon Knight. Like, he doesn't change too much.
That's true. As a starter, it's because the normal summon, you don't really want... One of the strengths, I would say, of Orcus is the fact that even though it does like the normal summon, it could get away without using a normal summon. It was more like you want to get a card in the graveyards, whereas Gearsu kind of locks them into using that normal summon, which in some respects is a
actually,
weakness.
what was their normal summon usually? Just Armageddon Knight and Greffa, right?
Yeah.
Greffa wasn't even a normal, it was... Yeah,
Which
I can't
one?
think of any.
After Mermaid?
Yeah. Well, no, after Mermaid.
It was Heart plus Extender, innit? Because you could play through one hand trap minimum.
Yeah.
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 Definitely, but okay then. So guys, what do we think then in terms of ban list? What do we want to get banned? This ban list, which is coming out pretty soon. Yeah.
I think there's one that we can all agree with here. It's definitely VFD.
Yeah, VFD. To 1 or 0.
It's been around for too long now. It's been too long.
To 1 or 0 though. 1 or 0.
Definitely to 0. It's putting it to 1. It actually just doesn't do anything. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Virtual World can make more than 1. Sure at the moment, but I don't think making more than 1 is a problem. It's just making 1 already is an issue.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm thinking, what would you do to Dryton though?
So I've heard some people say Ben 10 to 1. The thing is, I don't like that hit. I don't like that hit for 2 reasons. Firstly, even though I know it's a weak argument, I really like Cyber Angels. Ben 10 to 1, it just hurts my feelings. It's like, why are you hurting them? But no, funnily enough, with Drytron, I wouldn't actually take Ben 10 down. I would actually, funnily enough, I would limit the Drytron ritual spell. So this is painful because I like the fact that it's a ritual spell that can ritual summon from graveyard and stuff, and it wouldn't affect Drytron's line of plays that much. But the reason why I like that limit is just because as a deck, as a cohesive unit, it loses some of that power by itself. And then things like Benton, for example, while Drytron is frustrating, I genuinely think it's quite a fair deck just by virtue of it being a ritual deck. Even though it doesn't really fully ritual do stuff, I still think it's a relatively fair deck, and just by making it so that, for example, they haven't got an alternate play if their Ben 10 loop gets stopped, because right now I think they bring up Meteoronus and the XYZ and they still have a spell and trap negate in it. They can't just do that as easily. So that's why I like the kind of...
It's kind of a modern Necros.
Yeah,
I can see that.
Yeah, I'd be a fan of it.
But obviously it's different.
Yeah.
Mechanic.
But obviously I do know in my heart that the fair limit in that situation is, even though I don't want it to happen, the fair limit obviously is going to be Ben 10 to 1 or 0.
Yeah,
that's the only rule.
Because that Xyz is going to change.
It gives them a really good secondary line of play. The thing as well about Drytron is that right now, if they only could go into Vanity's Fiend, it wouldn't be as big of an issue. The problem is they can go into Vanity's Fiend and then they can do a bunch of other crap as well. That's really where the problem is.
It's ruler, yeah.
Oh, sorry, ruler, sorry.
Yeah,
because they can straight up search ruler.
Exactly, and then they can search Herald, then they can search hand traps, they can search Lancia. It's they've got too many options. So if
and still return.
But the thing is, the Vanity's ruler play, Necros used to do that. When I used to play Necros, they used to do that. It's not that hard actually to search ruler in a ritual deck, because you're dealt often by Tribute and Benton when you ritual summon. So again, I don't or incantations don't even have to do that. They just tribute summon over themselves to summon ruler. But yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I think that would be a good hit. Another deck that I've been saying this for time, that it needs to be hit. It's not even meta right now, but I've thought this for a while. Is Invoked. I really feel like Invoked needs to be hit.
I'm not the only one who thinks that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Engine's been there too long.
How long has that been around, man?
It's ridiculous. And it's just a silly engine as well. It just irritates me because it's there's just no weak part of it. It's when I feel like if there's ever an archetype where you want to play every single main deck thing at 3. Which, even though I know there's Book of Law and stuff, but we're not talking about that. When you want to play free Alistar, free Meltdown, free Invocation, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just...
it's Meltdown covers your back from just getting it negated. Invocation just recycles itself over and over again. It's just, you know what? I've been sick of it for years now.
You know what it is?
You know what? Let me have a look when this came out. Let's have a quick look at this. Go on, you guys carry on.
Yeah, it's the Almirage into... that light guy.
Yeah.
That's what made it really
Very
good
good,
because
yeah.
it's one card for that, and it recurs.
Exactly. And then now they've got the Magistus one as well. Oh my gosh, like it's now you've got even more space in your extra deck because just normal summon straight into Artemis, then it's like you're Gucci from there, to be honest. But yeah, too long.
Yeah, but well,
So personally, my favorite hit again is Invocation. I like the hit to Invocation because it simply means that they have to rely on other fusion spells, or they have to use it as, and it means that as an engine as well, it loses some of that potency. If you break the Invocation,
put it to 1?
So Invocation to 1, that's my personal favorite hit. The problem with hitting Alistair, in my opinion, is that Alistair is a lot more easily looped than Invocation.
Yeah.
Because Alistair will banish itself. Sorry, will get banished by an Invocation using a fusion material. So if it's on the field, in your hand, in the graveyard, it's never really in a bad position. Banish, it's never in a bad position. Hit Invocation, banish Invocation, break the loop.
Well.
So yeah, that's my opinion. Meltdown as well.
I don't think it deals with it.
Huh?
I don't think that Invocation to 1 deals with it because
Really?
I think when you're deck building optimally, that's just the card you search, and
Yeah.
you might only have 1,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really deal with the power of the engine, just like maybe the longevity of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is my. So what would you hit the field spot instead?
I don't know where I'd hit it, to be honest.
I would, to be fair, because think about it. If you're playing 3 Meltdown, 3 Alistair, you're playing 6 Alistair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'd hit it twice.
It's like the terraforming thing all over again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You play 3 field spells, you're playing 6.
The problem with Invocation, though, in my opinion, is as well, is you can't really hit the extra deck. None of the extra deck monsters are that strong in the first place. So it's like
no, because they're all
Exactly.
dependent on a lot of things as well,
Yeah.
like the deck you're hybriding it with, the opponent's deck.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be correct to hit.
so it's like you're
Then again-
forced to hit one of those main. There's only 3 cards really that you can limit to have any effect on the engine's power.
But what if you ban Macabre? The engine's useless then, but kind of.
No, but I
Exactly.
think that's so excessive.
But
though.
exactly, that's my point.
Macabre.
Exactly. So it's like if you hit pretty much anything in the extra deck, you're hitting it too much, and you're not even really solving the problem. If you hit Macabre, you've actually just killed it for no reason.
Yeah, fully.
Yeah, because Macabre is actually quite a fair card. Discard to banish. That's
And it has to be the same
and
type.
it has to be the same type. So I actually think Macabre is quite. It's funny. Back in the day, Macabre was insane.
It was so broken back in the day, I'm not gonna lie. I used to hate that.
But now it's light work. Yeah, it's funny. I know this card isn't going to get hit, but definitely a card which it's a problem right now. And I when I saw it released, I was kind of happy, but I don't like it. It's Zeus, and it's because of the way Zodiac uses it.
I don't like that.
don't like
That's a
that
big
card.
power.
I think it's too new though.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I said. I don't think it's going to get touched just because it's new. The same way it's very likely that Zoo is unlikely to get hit, in my opinion, just because it's just come back pretty much. But
Yeah.
I don't like Zeus. I don't like it because it's a very solid, like it is never a bad situation to go into Zeus. It's always the right decision. I don't like cards like
Yeah,
that.
I don't like it.
Yeah,
That's a good example of a power creep. Like
exactly.
bring a quick effect board wipe in their XC.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just kind of.
Like it doesn't change
killing their
anything.
own game like
It
that.
doesn't change anything about your game plan. It's just just Zeus. I've won the game, but let me solidify my win with Zeus. So that's why I really don't like it. I think it should be hit.
Yeah, but how do you make a card better than Zeus? They're gonna like go over the top
Literally.
next time.
Although, I don't know, having said that though, prior to Zeus coming
Hmm.
out, was there any like Xyz focused strategies that were really, really, really strong though?
Zoo was coming back because of Tri Brigade. Zeus is just what
And
pushed it
people
over
were
the
playing
top.
it with Eldritch, weren't they?
Yeah, but it's just that Zeus pushed it over the top. So no, there's not really at the moment any really relevant. There's strategies that have 1 or 2 XYZs, but unless you guys can think
Yeah,
of them.
it's just every XYZ is like deck is now started to rise up a little bit because of Zeus. To be fair, that's the only reason they are.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Wait, let's move on. Anyway, we're gonna move on. And we've got a weekly would you rather question. So are you guys ready? So it's gonna be every week we're gonna have a question like this. And this one, shout out to my wife for giving me the idea. Okay. Okay, so I've got a handful of shit in my hand. Human shit. How much money for you to eat this handful of shit? Fresh.
Fresh, yeah, just to,
Fresh
okay.
shit. It may or may not be mine, but the point is, a handful of it, you gotta eat it. How much money?
First of all, that's Matty. Second of all, I think I'm that guy that would say I wouldn't do it because
Not for any amount.
that might.
Not for any amount of money.
Nah. You're jeopardizing your health in it. Like, I wouldn't sell out for that.
Wow, Nah, I definitely got an amount of money. That
I've definitely. I can't lie to you. I think it'd have to be somewhere in the, at least in the six figures.
yeah, I can't like
At
that was mine as
least.
well. I feel like for 100 bags, 50 grand of it
Yeah.
can go towards healing me, making sure I'm okay afterwards. All the doctor's bills.
Yeah.
The other 50,
Fully
I'm
agree,
laughing,
fully
fam.
What? So you would do it for a tenner?
No, never. That would be the most painful thing ever.
I'll do it for free secret rare Italian first edition
Yeah, not
Dantes.
gonna lie,
Thank you very much.
for the platinum blue eye, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what? LOB first, full shift.
Hey, oh my gosh, LOB boxes, yeah?
Yeah.
Off topic, I'm sorry, but I think I was watching a video and I swear they're like 50k.
Wait,
First
what?
edition.
Really?
$50k dollars.
They're insane. Man.
They are doing a
The
madness.
thing is, I really want to know. I need to get the opinion of someone who spends this much on the cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that are they just rich and they can do it, or that's quite mad.
Yeah, but then there's also those people that are just collectors as well, and they just want to. There's a lot of collectors in this market that you forget, Simeon.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, not only is it a meta game, but there's such a big collection game as well. It's insane.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny because Yu-Gi-Oh's not even the biggest card game, innit? It's Magic that's the biggest one, right?
It'd be Magic.
And it's like Magic's even more expensive, but it's still. I just think I don't get how people do it. Like,
Yeah, how much is what was it? A Black Lotus,
the Black
right?
Lotus
Is
one,
that
yeah, I know
the-
that one's super expensive. Yeah,
Have a look.
that's crazy.
166k.
Gosh,
No, hang on, more than that. No, apparently there was one that was selling for 500k. What the hell?
$500,000 on that card.
$500,000, $500,000 for this, and it was done by PSA,
That was graded.
like graded 10.
I can't lie. Sometimes I feel like they just make it up. They just make it up.
I can't lie to you.
Yeah.
I feel like
Even
it's,
jack the card and make a nice Orica and then send it back.
Yeah,
to
you could have the most mint condition thing. They were like, now I'll give you a 9,
Literally.
and it would just bump it down by like half the price.
Literally. Even in my head, it doesn't even make sense how it's like they've all come from the factory. Why isn't it a 10? Like, what's going on?
How do you come to that conclusion, though? Innit?
Yeah, I can't lie.
I want to see the
We've
process
definitely
behind
broken
it,
some people's hearts. They're thinking, I've got a PSA 10 graded. Right, Geki in my room.
but- Oh,
All
man.
right, so let's talk about some of the new cards. So there's a couple of new archetypes coming out. I don't know if they're both in Blaze and Vortex, but one of them is Abhyss. So what do we think about Abhyss, guys? Do you think that Abhyss is going to be good? And actually, before we get started, I'm going to read out a card that was announced. I don't know if it was today or the day before, but it was announced recently. And it's
This was today, I think, officially.
so we got
today.
Snake Lily of the Abyss, which is going with it. Normal spell card. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Send a reptile from your deck to the graveyard. If you have 5 or more reptiles with different names in your graveyard, you can special summon one reptile from your graveyard. So basically, Foolish Burial plus Monster Reborn if you have 5 or more reptiles, which isn't going to be too hard in that archetype. What do we think about this deck, guys, and that card?
I'd say it's a necessary thing for reptiles, to be fair.
Definitely.
Yeah, they've designed it with Snake Rain in mind.
Literally.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Literally. I feel like it's a
But
Konami.
do I think it's gonna break reptiles? I think it will bring it to a nice spot. I don't think it's gonna completely just shift it all the way to
Yeah.
tier 1, tier 0.
No.
But-
I don't even know if it'll be meta. Because the Abyss.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It won't be better.
Because the thing about Abyss is that right now they're too reliant almost on Snake Rain. Without Snake Rain, they can bring out like a rank 8. That's about all they can do. Yeah. But it's funny because I feel like it's a Konami kind of thing to release this and then ban Snake Rain. That's the kind of thing I can expect them to do.
preemptively.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think it'll make it meta. I do like the deck. I think artwork wise, it's really cool though. Definitely a really, really cool archetype.
Yeah.
And I was trying to make some sort of chaos build with it, but it's just too many it's the problem where you have an archetype that hasn't got a bunch of amazing cards. It's got like a bunch of average cards. So it's like you have to like put those in, then you try and put the chaos cards in. And then after a certain point it's like, why have I even got these Abyss cards? I can just play pure chaos and it'll be better. But it's definitely an interesting deck, and it has helped reptiles a lot.
It helps with Venoms as well, right?
It does help Venoms a little bit. Again, Venom's problem is more that Venominaga, or however you pronounce her, is just
It's too dependent on those two boss
it's a great boss monster that's just too hard to bring out in the first place, and then the whole deck rolls around it. So yeah,
I mean, when was the last time you saw someone even resolve the win con effect as well? Come
I
on.
tried so hard to make that deck meta.
Wait,
so
didn't I
hard.
try it against you?
Yeah.
In Wheel of Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's not an easy deck deck to get started with. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where Konami goes with it, because I don't know if they've got any more cards for it. I haven't seen the list to see if there's any more slots for Abhyss. But yeah, but Doremichord. It's funny, I thought I'd love this archetype because it's a fairy archetype, but I played it and what do you guys think? What do you guys think about it?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Doremichord? Okay, so it's fairy pendulums basically, and with weird effects. They just got weird effects. No. Yeah, I feel like they're gonna go the same route as a lot of these deck build packs. A lot of the decks in those just end up being kind of like irrelevant and no one buys them, but they're super expensive because no one's opening the packs.
Yeah, but I think Konami's kind of finally realised that pendulums were a mistake of a mechanic though. They don't like to mess with it anymore.
The hatred Konami has for pendulums is actually a joke. Like it's like you guys made them. Like it's not our fault.
Yeah, they just don't like it. They were like, yeah, we made a mistake, but we don't want to say it.
Oh gosh, yeah, it's 100% ridiculous. Alright, so, but then okay, then what other decks would you guys say that need support? What other decks would you guys say right now that aren't getting focused and need support?
Oh, that is a very good question. I know Utopia's getting a support card. I don't know if you've both seen that. I know Simon, you've seen this.
That's right. It was okay.
Sammy, have you seen this new Utopia card?
What card is it?
Yeah. Pegasus Twin Saber.
So actually, let me find it.
It's a light beast, rank 5 or level 5. If you control you can only control one of them. If your opponent's life points are at least 2,000 higher than yours, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can target one Utopia you control. Once you control, equip this card, and it gives it 1,000 attack. Now the last effect, once per turn, while this card is equipped to a monster, you can negate any monster effect activated in your opponent's field.
That's okay. Yeah, it's okay, but it's conditional with the life points and things. Like we've seen them before.
But the last effect, I don't know. I think Union Carrier just makes that a bit of a mad one.
Because last effect is basically
it's to any monster. It's not even like limited to Utopias. That's the thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So.
What I don't like about that card, what pisses me off is I don't know why they made it generic. It should have only been if it's equipped to a Utopia or Zex Warrior, because now it's the kind of thing where people just attach it to a monster, just free negate. Why not?
They had no need to make that generic though, like at all.
That's what irritates me about it. And Utopia Zex Weapons is already a janky as hell deck. So it's like, just give them support. That's the same problem I have with Dragun. I hate Dragun so much because of that exact reason, because it's too easy to bring out generic.
Like if they just limited it to literally Dark Magician / Red Eyes as a deck, it wouldn't have any problem whatsoever.
Literally, all they had to do, it's funny. All they had to do with that card is not release Verte, firstly.
Yeah, that's the one thing I was going to say. Yeah, Verte is a big problem.
Really help. And then just make the materials specific, that you don't have the option to use generic materials as well. But,
or maybe, I don't know, like must be someone using this specific, like...
Having said, what is possible that we'll see on the ban list is that, and I think, I can't remember if it was Seema or someone who said this, and it was MST who said this, I think, and I agree, they might ban Red Eyes Fusion.
I can see that happening.
Yeah, which wouldn't be it. Like Red Eyes, it's a terrible card. Red Eyes Fusion is just a really bad card. It's only Verte that makes it strong anyway. So banning that, I think, would actually be a pretty good decision for Dragun, because it would basically make it useless to use in most decks. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Because Dark Magician can bring out very easily with Ayatamias. Red Eyes, I mean, no one's playing Red Eyes anyway.
Well, I mean, the thing is, Tomias, though, you have to target a domination you control, so you can't use that on Verte anymore.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, is there any more other fusion thingy cards that you can use?
No.
Wait, does Verte send a normal spell card?
Yeah. So there's literally no other way to...
No, all quick play.
It's a normal quick play, but as in there's no other way other than Red Eyes Fusion to summon it, like, from the deck in the way that we're doing it. So it's like you can summon it, but you just need to put 2 normal monsters in your hand first. Which a lot of decks, or you can do it without that, but then you don't get the
because obviously Red Eyes does it straight from there. Yeah, because the only other card I was thinking of was Secrets of Dark Magic. Again, you need the hand for that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's in Dark Magician. You don't even use secrets to summon it unless you're playing Keeper Draconic Magic. Which, if you're playing that, I don't know.
I mean, how else are you gonna abuse that? What? Start playing Summoner's Art?
Literally, it's literally out to my. It's like that's the way you cheat it out.
Low key, I agree with that Red Eyes Fusion here actually.
If Dragun was in like some mad Red Eyes Dark Magician deck, it'll be like appreciated, wouldn't it? Amongst
You know
them.
what? Verte actually makes a lot of like necessary bad decks stronger.
Yeah.
And it's like the only real culprit of it is Red Ice Fusion, I think. Like, what other decks are abusing Verte in a ridiculous way?
Even Predaplants don't use Verte because it's a bad card.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it was literally their card.
Yeah, it's
That's one thing I want to talk about. Actually, there's so many cards that have specific archetypes in their names, but they're so generic. Like, they need to stop that.
Like-
They need to legit just stop this. Like, you have Anaconda. You have like Needle Fiber is literally a Christian card. When was the last time you heard of Christians?
The thing is, I know
Honestly.
sometimes they do it intentionally. So, for example, with Verte, they did it
do.
intentionally to support fusions. Christian intentionally to support synchros. But yeah, it's frustrating when they do it for an archetype that needs the help in the first place. Because then it's like, so this is the support card. Like, how can Fibrax is a good card in Christians, but there's lots of ways they could improve it. Same way Verte is... It's good in Predaplants in the sense that because Predaplants brick all the time, it's kind of good sometimes for that one time where you have the Ophius and then you normal summon and then all you can do is pass with one fusion.
Yeah, open double Ophius.
Literally.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's a useless card. Yeah, and it's quite frustrating. It's funny that when they were doing for Dark Lords, when they announced Condemned Dark Lords, I was so happy that they didn't make it generic. Like, it's just it just helps Dark Lords, that's all.
Yeah.
You don't need to support every archetype with one link monster.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's say if we were to take one monster, spell, or trap card off the Forbidden Limited list, what would it be?
Oof.
Yeah.
I
gotta think. Okay, Sammy, you know what? You
Sammy,
lead. I gotta think about that.
Yeah.
Part of Greed to 1. That's exactly what
you woke up and chose violence. You fully just.
Oh gosh. Okay, you got yours, Hodge. I've got mine, but have you got yours?
Oh wow. Now you put me on the spot, you know. Actually.
Okay, I'll go with mine. I'll go with mine while you're still thinking. Mine is quite easy as well. I'd say Electromite. I'll bring back Electromite, man. Pendulum's never needed to get hit that hard. I
think Electrum's coming, you know.
I hope so. Yeah.
It makes sense for it to come out.
Yeah, because of Blaze.
They will try to push it with Electrum.
I'm hoping so because I really, really enjoyed playing all the different Pendulum archetypes. And Electromite, it's a very good card, but in my opinion, it's still quite fair. Like, in that, because of the way Pendulum archetypes work, it just helped tie them all together. So, and the hit to it even was just preemptive in the first place, which also pissed me off. So yeah, Electromite would be mine. You got yours yet, Hodge?
Yeah,
I'm gonna say, Call by the Grave to 3, man.
I do miss that card.
Honestly, like,
yeah.
I was just pissed off when it went. I really was.
Yeah, Cool by 3.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are you gonna put it to 2, then put it back to 3, and put it to like? Come on, you're taking a piss. You're just taking a piss.
Yeah.
Like the problem I had with that was, maybe they're gonna release Crossout Designator. They still haven't done it. Why is it still at 1? Please, explain. Explain, please.
That surprised me as well, to be honest. I thought that was why they limited it. I didn't think that there was any sort of...
But Simeon, we're like 1 year on, and it's not even, you know...
Yeah.
Which is funny, because that means Konami genuinely just thought that limiting
it was a
good idea.
I think their logic behind it was, combo decks are just abusing it. Yeah, but like, I think like that's a necessary card for every deck. Honest.
Yeah, but it's another example of their little power creep, like because without hand traps too much, so they need it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true.
Speaking of hand traps, opinions on Maxx C.
Yeah,
I think this was a necessary discussion topic. I can't lie to you.
Yeah,
I think this is always a necessary discussion topic.
Okay,
Maxx C in the current
format. Okay, Sammy, you go first. You go first, because I think we've got different opinions on this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd bring it back. You know, if the OCG have got it, it means we can work with it. It does facilitate like better play and control play, good like games.
What about?
But would you say 1, 2, or 3?
0 or 3 maybe. 2's okay maybe. 1 was sacky as shit, man.
I find the 2 sacky as shit sometimes as well. Though I think for me with Maxx C, either it's at 3 or it's at 0. To be honest, I don't think there's a middle ground for this.
Yeah, actually, funnily enough, I thought you guys weren't gonna want it back, but it's funny because I would say that I'm in line with what Hodge says. I'm not a fan of putting cards to 2 or 1, especially 1. I feel like what's even the point? Just ban it.
Like semi-limited is just for malicious.
Yeah,
And that's
if a card's at,
there's no other card that needs to be put to 2.
To me, if a card's at 1, it should be either like a boss monster or something, or like something like Infernity Launcher, where it's like when you have multiple that you can loop, it's a real problem. But Maxx C to 3, I think it should be at 3 as well. I think it's funny because so many people hate on this card and they're like, oh, OCG has a toxic format because of Maxx C and it's just control decks everywhere. But no, you do get spammy combo decks as well. But I just don't like the idea that someone can vomit their whole hand onto the board for no punishment.
Yeah.
And you don't even get to play.
Exactly.
There's no skill involved.
And the excuse that people often use is, oh, but meta decks get it too and they get stronger. And that is true. Don't get me wrong. That is true. But in general, the better decks can special summon more. That is a general rule. Even though this is funny, probably the worst format to ever say that. But in general, yeah. But in general, if you're a deck that can special summon 15, 20, 30 times a turn,
you're not getting punished for it.
Yeah, and you're a meta deck. Whereas rogue decks generally will struggle to do that. So which is why, in my opinion, yeah, it definitely should come back to free. I think as well, one thing I really like about Maxx C is a lot of people use the excuse that, oh, you can't actually do anything, like, oh, if they drop Maxx C, you have to skip. But it's not necessarily true. It's not necessarily true. It's not always true. And I feel like the best example was in the OCG. I think it was someone was playing Dark World Danger, and the person dropped Maxx C, and then they just decked them out. They just decked them out. Now, not every deck has that option, obviously.
I respect that.
But it's like, I like the idea that it's like there are ways around it. It's not always just pass. Even sometimes it's, okay, I might let them get 1 or 2 more cards, but I know that I can maybe just go into Dragun with 1 or 2 more summons, and now it's
you still have like a playable board.
If you're just passing every time you see Maxx C, in my opinion,
that's your problem.
That's your business.
Yeah, that's, you know what I mean. Yeah. But okay, I mean, at the very worst, like, let's say they bring out Designator, they put callback to free. Surely it can come back. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's got enough counterplay
free
for people to
call by
stop
free
it,
designator. And you've got Ash as well. Because in OCG,
there's no excuse for it not to come back.
And it's funny because there was a point in OCG when everyone was playing, and even now to an extent, you see 3 Maxx C or 2 Maxx C, 3 Ash in every deck. But even with that, I'd say plenty of times you see topping lists, not even like very often you'll see topping lists that don't have either of those cards in, because it's not always necessary. Like, you can get around not having Maxx C. Yeah. Also, it would punish Zodiacs, which I really don't like that deck. It irritates me.
Yeah, I know. I've always like not been a fan of facing that, man.
But you know, anyway.
They're even mad-handed still, and like they're just
literally
1-card combos, man. 1-card combos, literally.
All right, but no, we're coming up in 30 minutes, and I do want to cut this episode short. But that has been the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show episode 1. Thank you all for watching, guys, and stay tuned. We are going to have a new episode coming out every single Saturday. Any closing comments from our hosts?
Yeah, I'll see you on Saturday, innit?
All right, peace out, guys. Thank you. Later on.